Let's do that. Okay, so I was 8 minutes in the class and I forgot to push record, but yeah, guys, good evening. Let's take the first few minutes of class just to kind of share some projects. And I'm just kind of making the call if anyone would like to share from packaging design, just the progress of your projects. Tonight I will be talking more to packaging design, and but I would like for the our digital illustration students to kind of see what our sort of advanced level packaging design students are building and just kind of hear what you're thinking. So that would be great. All right, great. We got two volunteers, Amy and Vivian. Great. Let's go ahead and set you guys up. Amy, we'll start off with you. Go ahead whenever you're ready to share your screen. We will jump in and hear where you are in your project, okay?
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Let me just share my screen.
Yes, we can hear you. Sorry. I'm muted and I lost the window there for a second.
No problem.
Okay, take a moment there. And then Amy, can you give us like a 10, 15 second, just a brief overview of your project and what you are creating and what the plans are for it?
Yeah, so my product is a fragrance, like a perfume for women, but open to men. So I wanted to do kind of like a simple yet elegant approach to it. And I really stuck with like a pink color palette. I haven't really like expanded with color so far. Sorry. But yeah, it's just a fragrance, and number 3 on the left side is what I had before. I didn't really like it, so I kept working on 4, 5, and 6 with like a circle shape. So number 3, I'm not gonna work with anymore. I mean, Professor Almena kind of threw out the idea of combining number 6 on the right to the number 3, and that's what I did. Not sure how I feel about it, but it does look kind of cool in my opinion. I don't know. But that's my shot at an intro to my work.
Okay. And how about for the bottle? Any floating images there, Amy, that you could maybe on your desktop that you can drag and drop in terms of like the bottle of the perfume or anything of that sort?
No, I
Or
haven't reached that part yet.
okay. Or like certain bottles that you would like it to look like?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Because for your project, it's definitely going to feel like, you know, that bottle and that shape will be a factor too. So hopefully we can find some nice shapes that can kind of go with the concept.
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, I really like this one just because it's so like elegant looking, kind of complex, unique. And then I also like this one for its pattern.
Totally.
Yeah, they're just ideas that I had. These are the two main ones.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then based off that, so minimal romantic and then going. And this is always good to kind of get a visual for your concepts and then come back to like your current board just to see where everything is going.
Yeah.
Okay. And can we take a look at the concept or the Illustrator layout one more time so we can get a little bit of a feel for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that number 3 revamped. I mean, that was a bit of a long shot.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I think 6 is still working. It seems like the 3 revamped would work if it was like a like a box or package, and it was very, you know,
Like a trio or something.
yeah, like I could see that working for like a literal box package opening type of thing. But for the perfume, 6, probably 6 will work, or possibly 5 depending on the color of the bottle, like we're saying.
Yeah.
I still like 6 on the right, which is sort of like the arch, and then it's sort of an arch and then a horizontal type at the bottom.
Mhm.
So I'm okay with it. And yeah, I think based off of that, I mean, still keep 3, the revamp, just for like concept and development to see where that's going.
Yeah.
I mean, that could work for like advertising. I mean, that could, you know, easily be part of a style guide. But if we're targeting specifically for a label of a bottle, then based on what I'm seeing, it's really type and the shape of the bottle that's going to sort of play out. So yeah, I think I like 6 ultimately. So
Okay.
I think we're ready to kind of start playing with bottle design, bottle shapes. You know, if 3 came out of, if 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that revamped 3 is what we got, then 6 is probably like 5 and 6 are looking sort of like the max level where we got, and more so 6. So
Okay.
yeah, I think we're ready to start looking at bottle shapes. And for that one, hopefully we can start searching for, well, you have some bottle shapes. So I would say if there's any high res images of those bottle shapes, like the pattern, that sort of narrow shape with the crystallized pattern in there on the bottom, or just existing bottles. Let's kind of do some bottle shopping, and then we could possibly Photoshop it out if we need to and modify some of the type. So yeah, let's just look at some shapes, some forms, some crystals, some just everything. Possibly even look at Adobe Dimension and see if the Adobe Dimension program offers any type of insight for like shapes, because now we're going into like sort of 3D modeling and looking at perfume bottles. But I first want to start off with just any type of perfume bottles that that are looking good to you. I know you had 2, Amy, but if there's like a collection of sorts, maybe 1 or 2 more, just to kind of make sure that we've seen every bottle shape available.
Okay.
I think that'll be helpful. And let's see what we can get from that.
Okay.
So, and then I think we might also, yeah, let's look at it, because I don't want to go into like engineering level stuff where we're like literally engineering like bottles and things of that sort. We want to focus on the graphic design of it and hopefully find like a bottle that we can kind of work off of. So
Yeah.
before it turns into like a 3D modeling class and things of that sort, which we can get to if we need to, but I don't want to push it. I want to focus on the graphic side of it, the packaging design of it first. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Cool. All right. And if you guys, and also guys, for digital illustration, if you like it, feel free to type it in the chat. Make some suggestions, comments. We always try to see, make suggestions and things of that sort. So if you have an idea, or if it reminds you of something, or even a brand that kind of strikes, these are all curiosities, and we always like to look at in packaging design. We always kind of go off. We use our curiosity as sort of like a little bit of a guide too. So as we are working on this project, some of the things that we talk about is like, let your curiosity guide you. That's something that we learned from farm design when Aaron Atchison's process. He's like, curiosity can be a very powerful thing to lead you into a direction of a new design. So being aware of it, being confident towards it, and then just letting it guide you to an extent is part of that process. So that's always good. And thank you guys. Thank you for making some comments there as well. Yeah, it can get a little bit nerve-wracking to share work, but it's always the most powerful thing you could always get off any presentation is a critique. Critique, not versus criticism. The difference between the two is a critique is designed to improve, whereas a criticism is designed to destroy. So the most valuable thing someone can do is give you a critique of your work, because that means they're thinking about it, processing it, and giving you insight in a way that may or may not be of value. But either way, they're giving you their insight and their analysis, which is super valuable, right? And a criticism is just designed to destroy. And knowing the difference is like the whole process in and of itself. Like, are you critiquing me or are you criticizing me? And being able to determine the two is always going to be the most important thing, right? So that's a little food for thought there, some wisdom there. Okay. All right, let's keep going there. Thank you guys for sharing. And Vivian, let's take about a good 12 minutes there to take a look at your work. And we're also a perfume brand, or the sort of sample set, right? Today's perfume.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So we have our perfume, ladies. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
So just a quick overview about my project, well, on my product. So this is like a makeup brand. So there's no brand out there, but I name it today for the purpose of the set. It's meant to for customer to pick their own scent of the day.
Okay.
So I call it today's mood perfume. And this is my second. This is what I started with, and I later on developed into something like this. And I have 4 different version of it. And I guess the biggest difference would be the 2 on the left, they have outline on the images, while the one on the right, it's like shadows and just no outline at all. And it's just, I feel like they have different vibe. Like the one on the left is more cheerful in a way, while the one on the right, it's a more elegant or like closer to the high end side. And compared to my first draft, like I added this this color set to represent the color of sky in a day, like from sunrise to like nighttime, to emphasize the meaning of today, like the mood for the whole day kind of.
So it's kind of like a spectrum of emotions, it looks like. Nice. Can I take a look at the previous or the first round, by any chance? Okay, and then can we take a look at the new pieces there? And let's take a look. I do agree that the 2 on the right column there are feeling pretty good. And I agree also with what Katya is saying, is like the way the type's being treated on the bottom right is really nice. Sort of the serif typeface mixed in with sort of the scripted sort of font. Really kind of goes in line with some of the art form, and it just kind of has this sort of like flow to it, almost like a flow of emotion, and like you're kind of carried away a little bit by the scent. I see the script as a little bit of a symbol for that, sort of like an like aroma in action, or aroma that's moving. But the color is emotion at its heart, right? And so I do like the type on the bottom right. And I would love to maybe see like a 5th version where the bottom right has the bar from the upper right, if that makes sense. So that would be like maybe a modification I would love to see. So maybe like option 5 at some point on it there. 2 seconds. And you know what? I was also curious. I'm almost wondering if the 6th one could have your sketch version, because I kind of like the roughness of that sketch from your first conceptual direction. So like that first design, if we could take a look at it, I know it's probably not going to possibly work. I kind of like the roughness of this, and I wouldn't mind just entertaining. Again, it's kind of like with Amy, I could be completely wrong and could completely crash and burn. But I wouldn't mind seeing some of the type that you did in the new version with some of the artwork that you're using here, and just entertain the notion,
For this one, I actually encountered a problem, is that I couldn't find the right brush for it. Like this one, I actually scratch out, like I sketched this out on a tablet, so it wasn't actually like a brush from Illustrator. And while on this side, when I change the outline to some of the brushes that I have, it doesn't. Let me see if I can show you. Like if I change to something like this.
Oh, so like kind of recreating it versus, because the old one is like the pencil version of or scan, or is it the tablet drawing?
It's a tablet drawing that I basically did the stroke like with my, I don't know how to explain it, but like I was drawing it and I was just sketching, so it wasn't like really refined in a way, but I guess you liked it, the style. But while I tried to find a brush on Illustrator that could resemble that, it did not look that right to me.
And so getting that kind of like rough and sketch of it.
Yeah. And like,
Let's see.
I think
So if I understand
like,
correctly, then okay.
like for something like this brush actually worked with other lines, but I don't know if it's this shape that has too much curve or something. It became like really, let me see.
So it was just a little complicated to recreate. Oh,
right. It just
okay.
doesn't work that right.
Okay. That's a good point. So then is there, I think this would just be like a rough concept, or Frank is saying, like, I think I wouldn't mind just using that initial design, like a copy and a paste of it, and then maybe applying the bar or the typeface, because just to kind of see what that would look like. Because if I'm hearing correctly, it's an existing file in Illustrator that was created in Illustrator, or was it more like a Photoshop?
It was on Procreate.
Oh, it's a Procreate. Okay. Yeah. So in Procreate, is there a way to export Procreate, that illustration in Procreate, and bring it into Illustrator by any chance?
I was able to export as a Photoshop document.
Oh, but it doesn't allow you to export it as a Illustrator.
No.
I don't mind cheating a little bit. I mean, at the end of the day, you drew it, right? So it kind of falls within the guidelines. You did it, you created it. It's just that we just need Photoshop, right, to do it. And so I'm okay with like crossing boundaries if it's for the good of the project. So let's try it. I mean, are you familiar with Photoshop, Vivian, or?
I'm okay. I could do something with it.
Yeah, let's try to bring some of the elements in. Like we can still copy and paste the bar from Illustrator and plug it into Photoshop, right? Because it already exists. And we could still reuse the type using the same type tool in Photoshop as you do in Illustrator. They're both the same, right, virtually. So we could still create a mock-up and just purely see it as a mock-up. So I'm okay with that. The other thing too, so we have a 5th option, we have a 6th option, and any thoughts about possibly making the entire, because it's going to be a box, right? And inside the box will be sort of like these circular sort of palettes, so kind of like a perfume palette, as it were, right? You know what? I'm going to leave it at that. I would love to see those 2 options, and then we go from there.
Okay.
Because my mind keeps on going to like one option, another option, another option, another option. And before I give you too many options, I have to say, let's start with those 2, and let's see how we piece it together. I am familiar with the Procreate program, and it has some power to it, and it's and a lot of people like it. And Illustrator's trying to, the Adobe Illustrator iPad version is trying to catch up. So, but again, I'm for cross platforms, cross tools to get to make the project successful. So that's okay. So yeah, let's give it a go, and then I would love to see it a bit later throughout the class. So that's great.
Thank you.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing with me. All right, guys. So just a little sneak peek, right? It's all part of the process. And for those of us in digital illustration, that's how it works, right? Like we keep, as Vivian and Amy saw, we have like multiple versions of the same thing. And we're just doing another version of another version of another version. And you're kind of seeing that with our Mickey t-shirt, where it's like one version, another version, and another version. We're really trying to kind of stimulate that kind of like multiple looks thinking into your projects. Because as designers, you really have to kind of, all the little things can be showcased, and all the little things do make the biggest difference, right? Whether it's a font, or a combination, or even the scale, size, and colors, or even the style of the art. Each thing says something different. It's like the color spectrum, right? There's a range of colors and depths, and there's a lot of options that you can go. And having a little bit of curiosity and a little bit of creative confidence and just going in that direction is helpful. My job is to kind of help you technically build it and also kind of make it theoretically, aesthetically pleasing at the same time. So hopefully that's what you're getting, okay? All right, so I got 2 minutes on the clock before we hit 7 o'clock. Here's what we're gonna do tonight. I'm gonna create the breakout rooms, but before I do, I wanted to talk a little bit about Flipgrid, because it occurred to me that we could maximize some of our time between the classes if we used some alternate tools. Now, if I understand correctly, Canvas doesn't seem to have like a video record screen option from what I'm seeing. I could be completely wrong, but it's like a voice chat, typing it in, and nothing that looks like a video option capture. And so I wanted to do something like that for any type of project that I did not get a chance to review. And let me jump into the classes so we can just kind of get a visual for it, because I put it in both sections of our classes. They're just labeled, obviously, for the project. So I wanted to take a moment to open that up. And GDSN 174 and 164. And I'm going to share my screen so that makes sense. So, okay. And let's open it up. And I'm going to share my screen so we can take a look at it. So let's see. Optimize video, share the screen, move this out of the way. Okay, so if I go down here, we're in, we'll use GDSN 174 as just a quick option. So for example, when it comes down to like our week 11, let's say, presentation of concept, they're on both sides. On activity presentation, and it's also on GDSN 164 too, under April 29th. So it is currently under the April 29th post, which is right here, which is like a t-shirt progress check-in. We're gonna use this at the end of the evening, I would hope, based on the comments that we're working on the t-shirt. So this is more kind of like an end of progress check-in. But the way it's gonna work is that first we have to kind of get you registered to it. So that's the first thing I want to be able to do. So at some point this evening, guys, I would love for you guys to join with your Rio Hondo email. And that's basically a Gmail, or if I understand correctly, a Google Mail. Yeah, it should be Gmail. And it'll be your student ID at my.riohondo.edu. And when you register, it should take you to a discussion board, which should look something like what you see on screen. So let me first share the post, just so that everyone can start to like register towards it. And before I do the sharing of it, how many of you guys have seen Flipgrid in your other classes? I'm just kind of curious to know, like, how many of you guys have seen it or have worked at it at some capacity? Okay, so a few of us. Okay, and for some of you that might have kids that are in elementary or even middle school, you probably have heard it at some point too. Let me go ahead and I'll break it down for you just to kind of give you a little bit of a understanding of what this is. So Flipgrid is basically a platform where you can record videos and send responses for posts. So it's kind of like it's really mostly known for the whole video sharing part of it. Basically, I can put a post like you see here, and that post could essentially be about anything I want it to be, right? A question, a topic, right? And rather than have it be sort of like in front of the whole class, you're talking, and like Amy was saying, it can be a little bit a little bit intimidating just to kind of talk in front of a group. What Flipgrid does is that it kind of takes the group away, but it allows you to still share your work on video, right? So it's kind of like a selfie. It's a selfie video of your work, and then other people see the video later. Does that kind of make sense? So it's a way to kind of record your screen. So it's kind of like a breakout room where you share, but it's not live. It records it and posts it up, and then people see your videos later and they can comment on it. And so the way, when I share this link with you, basically at the bottom, it'll say record a response. And when you record your response, it's gonna take you to a window, and you'll probably see my face on the other screen here. There you go, hello, green screen and everything, right? And when you see it, basically there's a set of controls here on the bottom where it says flip, which is flipping the camera if you're on an iPad or on a phone. Options, which are basically, you can upload a video, record only your voice, basically reflect a video, mute, or record your screen. For this one, you can record your screen, and when you start a screen recording, then basically it'll say, well, what part of your screen do you want to record? And it'll basically say, okay, this screen, which is where my Illustrator work is, I want that to be the recording, right? So this screen one is literally my laptop, and then my second screen is what you see in front of me. So, or I can even go to Windows, right? And under Window, it actually takes me to specific windows, like programs that are open. So this actually would be the one you want to go to, right? I'm just gonna open up and unminimize my Adobe Illustrator because it's only gonna show windows that are not minimized, but expanded. So there is Adobe Illustrator on the left, right? And basically, if I go to Window, Adobe Illustrator, and I hit Share, it says in 3, 2, 1, I could start recording from my Adobe Illustrator what's on that screen, right? So if I'm going to open up a file, I can start talking about that file. I can move around, do everything I need to do. And when I'm done, then I can kind of speak into the mic as I'm talking about it, like, okay, here's the file, and here's how it works, and this is what I'm doing, and this is how it's playing out. And when you're done, it gives you up to 5 minutes with a little countdown on the upper right. When I stop the recording, I could start recording from my Adobe Illustrator. You hear yourself before posting it, and all you see is on that Illustrator screen. I can start recording from, so it's like a breakout room, and except it's recording, and you can leave a comment, and I can even like forward it, edit it, chop it up, do some things here and there, right? And of course you could hear your background of speaking to the mic as I'm talking about it, like, okay, here's the file, and we can talk about the project, everything, confirm it. And when it's confirmed, you can hit next and submit your video. And you can even put a little description, edit it, add a name tag, take a selfie so you can put a little picture of yourself, and just hit submit. And when you hit submit, it'll upload the video. Okay. I think this will help us in case for whatever reason we don't get a chance to talk, or perhaps you have to leave early, or it's just something going on. Whatever the case may be, right? Power outage or anything like that. And then what I could do is literally like later in the evening or first thing tomorrow morning, I give you specific comments based on those videos, and you see it, and we make the comment or work on it for the weekend or on that Monday. And hopefully I think that'll help with the workflow overall. So I think this will be really helpful, where it's like, all right, professor, here it is. Here's what's going on. And not only can I make a comment, right, but anyone else can make a comment. So once it's posted, anyone on campus, anyone in the class can basically go in, and you could even record a video too and say, hey, this is great, but did you think about this? And let me show you on my screen. So you can do videos of screens, showcase other videos, your classmates can make comments, and you can do a video, or you can skip it and just type it in and just say, nice, did you think about it? Did you think about this? And you can either make it a public comment or you can make it a private comment so that no one else can see you. I think this is super helpful, and I think this will be something that will kind of work with the flow. So if, let's say we don't have a chance to comment this evening, you can still post it onto the Flipgrid, and then within 24 hours, you can still get comments, very specific comments from me on your project. Does that make sense? I think, will this be helpful for you guys? I feel like this might actually serve everyone in the class a bit better and still like maximize time. So if you feel like that's something that will be helpful for you guys, a little thumbs up emoji, I think that'll be super, super duper awesome. So cool. Okay. So let me go ahead and just give you the discussion links. Let's do this. I'm going to do the breakout rooms. Or do we want to open up for all the classes? I'm trying to decide whether or not it's just separated between one class or the other, or everybody is in it. So packaging design can make comments and both sides can see it. How many of you guys would like to just open access it all to everybody? So you'd be like, okay, I can see what's going on in packaging. I can see what's going on both sides. Would you guys be for that? Or would you want to just lock it in according to the classes? I could do either or. I can see the benefit of like opening up to everybody as well. Open also to feedback. Video mail, yeah. Okay, I like to see what graphic design is doing. Okay, cool. Okay, so then we'll and vice versa. Okay, so we'll open up the floodgates and we will get everybody on there. So I'll put both group links in there so that everyone knows where you're going. I would just say like, let's be aware of like which is which, right? So I think that's going to be important. So like if it's a GDSN 164, you'll know, but based on the post, it'll say shirt progress, right? And then on for 174, it'll be packaging progress, right? So I would say just if we could be aware of like which is which, that'll be helpful. So that way they don't get mixed up. And I think we'll be fine in that regard. All right, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and share shirts, GDSN 164. So I'm gonna put this in the chat so that we can see it. And let's see. Okay, so this is Flipgrid GDSN 164. And if you could enter your Rio Hondo school email, it's going to be looking for the @my.riohondo.edu extension as a way of admitting you. So here is 164 t-shirt specifically for shirt progress and Flipgrid. Oh. And I'm going to go back to discussion. And I'm gonna share copy, and this will be 174. Flipgrid GDSN 174 packaging, and there it goes there. Okay, and I would say if everyone can take a moment to just register and enter your email, so then that way you can see it, then we'll be ready to move forward from there. And again, I would wait until a little bit later this evening for all the designs tonight. So if there's let's get through this evening, and then at the end of the evening, closer to about 9 o'clock or so, then we'll go ahead and we'll record, post. And then within 24 hours, I can make comments, and then basically the entire class can see all the posts. And I think that'll be helpful. Okay. So if there's any issues, definitely send me a message there. And then what I'll do is also inside of the Canvas for the classes has the specific ones as well. So if you're like, which one is for my class, you can still go to Canvas and get the specific link for our class, and that's also there. Okay, so that's going to be helpful, but that's going to be something that will set it up there. Okay, and if there's things that are like, again, this is only for those that have work available. If there's things that's missing, then we'll have time to catch up. But definitely, I would say, we spent a good amount of time on this project, so hopefully we can really have everything caught up there. So send me an email if there's issues specifically, and I know I'm starting to get a couple messages, so let me know and we can accommodate. Technically, you can turn in late work, but with the later it is, the later the feedback, the time it takes to give feedback, to make changes, right? It turns into it just kind of extends things a little bit more when we get into the next project. So as long as we're aware of that, I think we'll be okay. But going through that thread of feedbacks, comment, it will add more time, so we have to take that into account as well. Okay. So as long as we're familiar on the time frames, we should be good. Okay, so was everyone able to click those links and successfully register without any issues whatsoever? I hope so. And great. Okay, awesome. Yeah, Flipgrid is really cool. I see it a lot in high schools and middle schools and really on all levels for anyone that is a little bit self-conscious when presenting. And so this is sort of like video mail, as one person said, very much. Ultimately, it doesn't replace presentations. Like, we still have to be able to talk in front of a group, but I think it's a nice step along the way towards like speaking in front of people. So especially online. So let's go ahead and build that breakout room. And I don't know about you, it feels good to make progress. It's been such a whirlwind this last couple of weeks that I feel like we're finally getting a grasp. So let's see. I'm gonna do packaging design. Packaging designers, one room, yes, and then we'll do just a one-on-one room just in case. All right, and I'm gonna open the room now, and Amy, I'm gonna push you over there to the packaging room. So you should be ready to rock over there. And then digital illustration, I'll be working with the packaging designers this evening. Okay, so if there's something specific, please make adjustments. Feel free to share also with your classmates if that's the case. And if you feel like you want to jump into that Flipgrid a little bit early and maybe invite your classmates to kind of make a comment to it, that's okay too. So but I definitely want to put in a little bit of time for at least about an hour or so with our packaging design class. Okay, we'll take a break at 8 o'clock. Okay, so top of the hour, in about 45 minutes we'll take a break for about 5-10 minutes, and then we'll continue on for the evening and develop the t-shirt designs. So hopefully that'll work, and then we'll get you going and set there. Okay. All right, and if there's any questions that you might have, you can always say, you can always push when I'm in the breakout room. You can say request help from admin or request help from host, and it'll send me a message, and I can pop back in. Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, guys, I'm going to jump into packaging design, and we will see everyone in just a few minutes. All right, packaging designers, go ahead and join me, and then we will take a look at these projects and give some feedback and start moving from there. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I shall see you guys in just a few moments.
Hey everybody, this is Matt Flores. From the Graphic Design Club. I just wanted to let you guys know that we're looking for officers for the fall semester. It looks good in your transcript. You know, if you're trying to transfer or just join the workforce, it does show up there and it looks nice. If you guys are interested, we're looking in officers. We're looking to fill about 3. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me a chat in the people section, and I could answer any question you guys have. Thanks.
Okay. Emily, hello. Good to Elizabeth, thank you guys. I totally lost bandwidth, my Wi-Fi. Did you guys hear anyone say about spectrum outages by any chance from the class? We had a spectrum. My spectrum outage just dropped, and I literally had an hour to try to go to a phone, and now I'm literally hotspotting through a phone right now. So just really quick, guys, before I kind of conclude the session, could you guys also go onto Flipgrid and add some of the designs? I wasn't sure if you guys got a chance to talk about your designs overall, but we did have some issues, and hopefully the class will use Flipgrid to kind of exit out and check their t-shirt designs, if that helps. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that that was there. So when you get a chance, Emily, I would love to see that and get you going. And then Elizabeth, the same thing. If we can get a little Flipgrid, if you go to Flipgrid and share your screen and exit ticket out, then I think that'll be helpful too. Okay. Overall designs are going okay. Just by a thumbs up emoji. Are you guys making progress? No, it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be a video, Emily. I mean, you could take some screenshots and just type it in if that helps. Or you can email me. I just use that as a feature in case some people just want to just voice it out. Or if you want to attach the Illustrator file so I can see it up close, that'll be great too. And you can even type it in the email as well. I can take that file, open it up, and record some adjustments to it so you can see how I would change your file online. And I could reply to you that way too, if that helps. I think that might be helpful because then I could take your file and say, oh, this is what I would do in this situation. And you can recreate that in your file as well. Okay, then I'll definitely retrieve it through there. So yeah, you can submit multiple times if that's the case. Okay, awesome. Okay, sounds good. So Emily, we're good. We'll set you up. Elizabeth, I got your message. So let's talk about that, and then we'll set you up as well. Do you want to go to the one-on-one room, Elizabeth? Will that work for you?
Wherever is fine. Let me turn this on.
Okay, well, Emily logged out, so we're good.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and stop the videos recording, and then we'll talk about your design.